everybody. Welcome to Open the Gates. I'm your host, Matt Burke. Tonight, we're going to be having on Narwhal. He's going to be talking about his new book, Grande Prix Part 2, Earthbound. So if you guys could give an awesome, warm welcome to Narwhal, that would be awesome. Awesome.
Hey,
What's up, man?
Matt,
How you
how's it
doing?
going?
Awesome. Uh,
Hey, I wanted to say I'm glad to finally hang out on your channel because it might have been like years ago almost. You know how time flies, I guess, but like we were chit-chatting about maybe hanging, and the way kind of CG works too is it's like very sprawling and you'll go years without like meeting and connecting with people. But I've always known you're a good guy, so I'm glad to finally get a chance to chat. Thanks for
oh,
reaching out and everything.
likewise, man. Hell yeah. I remember kicking it like last time, I think, was on Brian's stream. We watched, what was it, Nosferatu, I think? Um,
Oh, sweet. Nice.
yeah. And then I backed your book. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, yeah. You know, with Nosferatu, that new Robert Eggers is making a
Yeah.
Nosferatu movie, and it comes out Q4 2024, so like December, maybe like a few, like 9 months away or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I think I'm gonna re-release Nosferatu, see if I can catch a little wave off that. We'll see, but yeah,
Oh, for sure, bro. Like
yeah,
for me, that's like one of the top movies because I love The Northman. Like, and Eggers is in my top like visionary director, list. Him with like Zoller and I like Panos Cosmatos. Um, and I don't know. I was really like pumped for that and The Crow. And to be honest, I mean, I'll go check out The Crow, but I love the book and the original movie. And I mean, it's all like trendy now, the whole topic and whatnot. But obviously, Skarsgård's playing both characters. I was just like, oh man, kind of was hoping he looked a little different, because with being comics, I'm a real visual person. Like I really like the way characters are designed and things like that. That aside from the movie, even or the books.
yeah, yeah. Are you saying did they release what Nosferatu is gonna look like for the movie? Oh, okay.
I don't think so. They've been really teasing it a lot. Like you'll just see
Yeah.
him like in the on the like the side of his head or just his hand and whatnot. And I think Willem Dafoe is playing one of the characters from another Gothic. I think I can't. I forgot the name of the movie, man, with Lon Chaney Jr. But I think he's actually putting him in there. He's making his own Gothic, true Gothic like horror movie because that's old school style. That's what Eggers was saying, something along the lines. So, and he's using him in a
Okay.
lot of his movies. Like Defoe is like his Danny Trejo. You know what I mean? Like for
Yeah.
Robert, but.
Yeah, no, I love Robert Eggers. I think The Witch is like kind of my
Yeah.
favorite still because it's that one's cool to even like look at because it's kind of low budget, like it's a
Mhm.
minimalist. So he managed to because that's like what's inspiring to me because I'm like, if I try and make a movie, first thing you got to do is think of an idea that you can actually shoot, And so he wrote something that all takes place in one hut basically, in
Oh
the
yeah.
forest surrounding it, and it worked really well.
I thought he did a great job with that. Um, yeah, a lot of people kind of that's what they didn't like about the Northman was because he had all that money, and they're like, oh, he spent too much on the acid trips, but I like that stuff, and I don't know, I like
Yeah.
the trip that he went on, and all the different drop my phone, all the different stuff that he used, like as far as bringing archaeologists on set, and I don't know, he used a lot of like old Shakespearean Hamlet, story, and made it, which was Hamlet. Hamlet became Hamlet later on. I don't know. Thought it was cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that movie's cool, and I can see that definitely. It's a little metal, so I can
Oh, it
see
is, dude.
you digging that. Yeah,
And it's sword and sorcery, man. Like he gets the sword and he has to fight the giant and the big drugger down below and whatnot. So
yeah,
I remember checking out your art, man. Like for a while now, there's like a lot of books that I've been wanting to pick up by you. The one book I do have, I said earlier, was Nosferatu. Um, your style is very unique, man. There's no one really on the scene in comicdom that creates books like you. I know about you, but maybe for some people that don't, maybe some metal people, for some reason, death metal is like the main thing people click on when they pick up my channel. So
nice.
maybe you might want to tell some new viewers a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, yeah. There's some overlap with just the metal. Metal has awesome like artwork and 2000 AD style, with 2000 AD, it's like a little more rendered if you picture it in your head. And my style is way more animation influenced. So if you think of like the 2000, it's not what was the one that they made a movie of it of. It's not 2000 AD, but
Heavy
it's
metal
yeah, just heavy metal.
and Heavy Metal
Um,
2000. Yeah.
yeah, like that is like a little bit more where I'm coming from. And part of what I do too is animation kind of naturally has a little bit of a collage aspect to it where like the backgrounds can be painted, the characters are cells, which are kind of like flat painted basically, and they're
Yeah.
totally two different styles, but that helps them pop. So I kind of do stuff like that with it, and then yeah, just with the animations, and probably influence wise, it's most of my influence is like European. Like if it's like, is it American, is it Japanese, or is it European? And it's yeah, it's like Mobius and stuff. You know, is like huge influence, obviously. Those kind of guys. My favorite European artist is like Bengal. Bengal is his name, and he's just like one word. I think he's now drawing for like Image or something, working with Rick Remender, I think. But and then there's Bengus. So Bengal and Bengus. Bengus is Korean, and he
Oh,
drew
sure.
all the Marvel versus Capcom stuff. If that's
Oh,
iconic.
okay. I
So if you
fucking love
think
that.
of that, yeah, like he's
The
amazing.
anatomy, or just in Street
Yeah,
Fighter, like the big shoulders, like that. That's actually been a
yeah,
big influence on my next book. Like, let me draw this
nice.
anatomy, and then okay, I want some bigger shoulders. That dude's gonna have big ass triceps. Only that guy. This guy's gonna have big ass shoulders. Only that guy. You know, but they're
Yeah,
all gonna be swole, like Saget. Remember, like big old.
yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and like that is like what his deal. I remember looking at his art too and just being like, it's sometimes it's not even if you're like, what do they do? What's their secret? And for him, he literally just does really good drawings, and they're like pencil on paper. They might be kind of small. They like could be doodles on napkins. So it's not really like tools. It's not style. And it's if you put it all together, you could call it a style. But a lot of his, it's I was like, oh man, like he'll get like a little 3D feeling to the drawing, even though it's just a pencil sketch. So I'm like,
Mm.
how do you do that? And it is like it's anatomy, it's perspective, it's these things that kind of combine. And if you get it just right, then it looks like you know it looks better than like CGI or a photo or whatever. It's like the power of awesome drawing can be so fun, and that's like Bengus. It's like all his stuff. I'm like, oh man, it looks so good.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's I got to check him out. And then a lot of people love Mobius. You know, the I don't know. They have a cool documentary online about it. You've probably seen it too. But dude, like all those guys, him, Jodorowsky, they all worked on Dune, man.
Yeah,
Fucking, you know, Geiger. You know, it's crazy. Just all those dudes, like so much talent. You know, they worked on Dune. I guess Mobius like lived in Mexico a lot when he was like a kid, and
yeah,
a lot of that was like a big influence. It's funny because I went to Mexico, Guadalajara, about 2 years ago, and they have all this Gothic architecture, you know, and it still survived because the Nazis didn't bomb it out. They have a massive art district too, like right there with all these different art shops. Fucking
cool,
dope. And they have these crazy like just buildings, you know, and going there, I'm like, dude, this is fucking Mega City One, dude. This is like some Mobius fucking Dune shit, you know.
nice.
And then I heard that he lived there, and I was like, oh, okay, that's maybe in the deserts and stuff like all that, just kind of clicking, you know.
Is
Um,
Guadalajara like more southern or right in the middle, or do you know where?
it's kind of central.
Okay,
Yeah, it's pretty. That's where my wife's from, and they have a lot of yeah, a lot of beautiful architect like cathedrals and things like that. And yeah, it's a nice place, man. I wouldn't mind living there if I could.
nice.
Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah,
live
and a lot of
retire
people,
there.
yeah, they get that influence from like where they if they travel and you take all that stuff in. I think Mobius he almost had like phases or something in the I don't know if it was the second phase or first phase was like the Mexican influence, the deserts and everything. They might have said something with him too when he did like a peyote drug trip kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that could do it, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that'll
that
kill
goes
it.
with Mexico in some ways. Well, you kind of associate. That's where you go if you want to do that.
Yeah, you
So,
trip.
yeah, which I haven't done, but I wouldn't mind. Frank Miller, for him, it's New York City, and
Oh really?
same thing. He's just
Makes
like,
sense.
yeah, it's cool to like have something kind of bleed into your work on that level, and it kind of I think it might have to be you'd imagine it's like it has to be a pretty like insane place, and there's plenty of places, but it can't just be any old place, you know. So it's like yeah, like Guadalajara, Mexico, New York City. These are like the places where if you go, it's gonna leave an impression, you know.
Oh yeah, totally, man. And they got killer food down there. I mean, New York's got killer food. I want to take that Route 66 tour, with my wife and kids, and just kind of drive through and just check out everything. I really want to go to Louisiana. That's a big place I want to go. There's so many.
Uh,
I don't know. I need to get out. I'm in California, so yeah, it's
yeah.
a lot of stuff to check out.
Yeah, they claim California is beautiful and great weather, but I'm trying to think. It's like it doesn't have much. It has a cool desert and it has the oceans, which is awesome. And I guess it has some mountains you can find all that. But it's like, yeah, it's funny if I'm talking about nature. That's like what everyone has, I guess, a little bit what they take for granted. And
Yeah,
for me, that is like nature because I did grow up in the Northwest, and I'm aware that it's awesome and I do love it. But that's like a thing where I'm like, yeah, whatever. The mountains, they're great.
yeah, right.
Yeah, the ocean, it's great. Big rocks,
You got any
cool.
Bigfoot stories? Any Sasquatch stories?
No, but actually that's another one that like it's big around here. And I was just at a convention this weekend called SquatchCon.
Oh,
And
awesome.
and one of the things they were saying that was funny too is they're like, hey, just so you know, we don't want to encourage people to hunt or kill Sasquatch. We want to
Right.
encourage people to be like, like friends and interest in Sasquatch or whatever, but not like less of the that he's an enemy that we need to destroy. So
Do
like,
you believe in him?
do not perpetuate. I probably don't, but I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think if any of that kind of stuff I believe in. I definitely am susceptible to, amenable to all sorts of conspiracy theories, but Sasquatch never gripped me too terribly, really. But I don't know. What about you?
I just I keep an open mind to everything. I
Yeah.
don't. So I just keep an open mind. I think that it's probable.
Have you
Um,
seen missing 411 type stuff on YouTube?
I mean, the name does ring a bell, but I can't say for sure.
That's just like it's just like I guess it happens more than you'd think. Is like park rangers have stories of people who go missing in the woods, and some
Uh,
of them are very mysterious. They're like they'll be like literally you're standing right next to them, and it kind of overlaps a little bit with like alien stuff almost, but
oh,
it's in
okay.
the woods. Like you're standing right next to them, and then you look over and they're gone, and they're like, "Whoa,
Uh,
that makes no sense." And they're like, "That's a true story. Nobody's lying. Like the person is gone now, and nobody knows what happened." And but
I've
even
heard.
like yeah, like the Northwest is like nothing is nothing's poisonous. Nothing will kill you. There's cougars, but they're you never see them. They like hide all the time, and they're not that many of them. So there's black bears, but yeah, so it's like really peaceful, and I haven't. Although as soon as I say that, I'm like, I think it might have been a while ago now. It might have been almost like 20 years ago. But there was a guy who went like on a murder spree through the mountains, killed a park ranger, came out of the mountains, killed some people in houses who were living near the mountains,
Fuck.
and that was crazy. And then that guy, I think he got killed by the cops eventually, and so that's something that's kind of crazy. But
I mean, every now and then you get something crazy like that kid that went nuts. That killed that homeless man like a week ago or some shit, a few days ago. That was pretty gnarly. Um, yeah, man. I don't know. I hear a lot of weird stories like that. There's this YouTube channel called the Y Files. I don't know if you've ever heard about it. It's been around for a while, but the dude dropped this crazy Neanderthal thing. I highly recommend it. It's the coolest YouTube video I've seen in years. And I was just like, what? It was 45 minutes long. His whole take on what the Neanderthal was. Basically, they were super villains. They were cannibals, and
oh,
they could see at night. And he says that there's like a mutation. There's something in our genome that the reason why we're afraid of the dark is because we're genetically conditioned to being hunted at night by Neanderthals. And he had all these theories that we were hunted down to one tribe, and then we went underground, and they were out there. And he was saying, well, I don't want to spoil it because they got so many cool little things about. But check it out, the Y Files, and he's got all these cool videos. I've been starting to listen to that while I'm drawing.
nice.
Pretty fun. But
No, that's fun. Like, dude, I will check that out. That sounds great. And yeah, YouTube has been so fun to like any old thing you can kind of research or jump into. And it's always
yeah,
while you're drawing because you get to draw hours anyway. So usually that's what I'm doing, throwing on weird videos like that. You go through phases, like I'll be in
yeah,
like a true crime phase
right,
or
right.
yeah, all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Did you what got you into comics, man? I mean, I know some of your influences, but do you remember kind of maybe at a young age or something like that? What?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's funny. I in high school is when I really got into them, and it was almost like a conscious decision. I was like, I'm gonna get into comics, and it was kind of because I was like an artist. I'm
Me
like,
too.
comics are art. I should be into this. So like I even like I think it was a little bit still pre-internet-ish, you know, or like internet was around but nothing crazy, and no, you know, Facebook wasn't a thing yet, anything like that. But somehow I've figured out, you know, the word on the street. You know, people will list immediately. People say like Mouse, Watchmen, Dark Knight Returns, and
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
some other. So I read all three of those and kind of went from there. I got into Tim Sale, the Batman stuff with him. I was really
It's good.
into.
I got that.
Yeah, and just kind of keep digging here and there. But I have one funny memory with comics too. Is in the Northwest there's ferries, so you take a ferry anytime you go to Seattle.
Oh shit.
And I was a kid, so we're on the ferry, and yeah, it's like people. It's like a tourist thing if you're not from around here. But again, that's something like everyone takes it for granted, sort of. But as a kid, actually, it is like there's fun stuff, and there are people who like play live music and like try and pedal for like change on the ferries and stuff. So
Oh,
there's like cool things going on. And somehow it was like me and my brother, very young. I don't know if we are like 5 and 4 or, you know, right around there. And there was a guy who had like 2 boxes of comics, X-Men comics. And so this would be like early 90s or whatever. And he was just letting us look at them. So for an hour, that's all we did was look at X-Men comics, and we couldn't read them, but I was looking at the art.
oh
And
yeah.
I do remember thinking like how cool that was and how like awesome comics were, kind of from that memory. But
That's cool, man. Like me too, as a kid growing up, like still to this day, like the art has to be like for me visually, like, you know, then it's story, you know, and if the story's good, I'm gonna come back. But the, you know, the art sells it, and then the story is what makes me come back for issue 2, you know.
yeah,
So that's
yeah,
just like,
it's just a fun mix that it mixes words and pictures. Like who'd have thought? Like, and it's funny. I don't even know. Like, it's like kind of like a new-ish art form. I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, if you count like cave paintings or whatever, but it's like nobody really put together to start doing comics. You know, until like the way we think of it, it was like night. It was like after movies, or almost. You know, or like right around the same time, maybe. So it's like 100-year-old art form in its modern form, and movies too. So it's still like we're still even sort of figuring it out, still having fun messing around with things you can do with it and everything.
oh yeah, for sure, man. I've noticed lately too, you've been doing some like some original art, right? I don't know if you like you've been putting them up. I don't know if you're putting them up on your campaign or whatnot, but it's been pretty interesting, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to get a little back into like pen and paper style, and because it's funny, like I'd sort of like spoiled myself. I feel like this could happen to like artists. You know, it's like if you go digital, just watch out because it'll spoil you, and then it's hard to go back a little bit.
Mm,
And it's like I could always sketch, but the second you try and do a page, it's like, well, you need to do the layout, you need to get the perspective of the characters. You can't be
yeah,
drawing and erasing 100 times.
it
That like
sucks.
ruins. Yeah. So like, and I'm like, digitally, you can just do all that. It's fine, you know. But I'm like, hey, I don't even know how you do it. But I talked to a few people, and they're like, tracing paper, man, use tracing paper, blah blah blah. So I bought a bunch of tracing paper. Sure enough, that is like sort of simulating some of the tricks that digital lets you do. Like, you
Mm.
know, you can position something to frame it just how you want, and then trace it onto the panel the way you want. You know, if it's a little too big or too small, I will just kind of like redraw it real fast because this is before inking, so it's kind of like sketching. You know, so it goes a little slower, but not terribly. And the more I do it, I've been getting a little better at it, getting more used to it, and it has been fun messing with it. And I want to try and do like one project that's like all done that way. But I'm just kind of weighing out what that will be and everything. But yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I do everything like traditional right now, but I want to go digital too because I'm like, at the end of the day, what do you have? Do you want to do more traditional art, or do you want to have, you know, a body of work? You know, and if there's a lot of
Yeah.
stories you want to tell in your life, and me, I got like 10 books I want to make at least, like off the top
Yeah.
of my head, and I can't do that all traditional because it takes me like a week to do one page because I have to do the thumbnails, then the pencils, then the inks, and that'll take me easily a week, dude. And if it's like
Yeah.
if it's a page that's got like 10 panels, that might take me 2 weeks even.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
what up,
Yeah. Like
Ollie?
it's what's up, Oliver? It's like the grass is always greener in a way, but yeah, I would encourage you to definitely just do it and go digital thing because you can always go back, and you can do for the traditional. You can sell individuals. You can do covers that way, whatever. But yeah, even you know, in my case, when I went digital early on, it was kind of because I had to because of a job I got. The only real job I got in kind of like it's not, it was like not the mainstream, but it was like Professional World of Comics. I forget even the publisher what they're called now. They're called Dead Reckoning. They're still around, I think.
Okay.
But so they're like a smaller imprint. They had a book deal, and they had a. I had it was a journalist was working with a dude who had come back from a tour in Afghanistan as a medic. I think he'd
Mm.
done 2 tours, and he had kept a memoir, and they were adapting his memoir to a graphic novel, and they had this book deal. And they had an artist, but the artist kind of fell through. So then they had to scramble, or they'd lose their book deal. So, and I had met him at a convention. A lot of this fell together. Like it's weird. Like when it's ready to happen, it kind of happens or
It
whatever.
is.
Like I was just starting to get good enough where yeah, these people would like take note or whatever. So I'd exchange. He saw my art, liked it at the convention a few weeks earlier. We'd exchanged cards and everything. And then I got the email from him, and he's like, "Yeah, the artist fell through. Can you do it? Can you draw, color, and letter 120 pages in a year?" And I was like, "Yes," but I had never done anything like that. So first thing I did, I was like, "Well, I need to kind of invent. I need to go digital, and I need to kind of invent a style that works." So from the ground up, I was like kind of scrambling, but I was like figuring that out of how to like be able to do a page pretty fast to be able to get this whole book done. Um, and then from then on, that's kind of been my style is like this digital, slightly minimalist animation influenced style. But when I did so now it's been like so that was 7 years ago. And I've done like 10 books now, and these are like
Yeah.
10 trade size books. So I'll stack them up on my table. I did one convention this weekend. Yeah, and I had all my
Yeah.
books lined up, and it looked
Spread.
really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
dude.
it's
Yeah.
funny. People come by and they're like, I think they think I'm like like a publisher peddling regular books, just selling books, But then
Yeah.
they're like, wait a minute, are these all you? I'm like, yeah. They're like, you did all these? I'm like, yeah. And so that like would always kind of impress people, and that sort of
Oh yeah,
helps
man.
with
Yeah.
sales in
People.
that way. But yeah,
Fuck yeah, dude. And people just they wanna be entertained. They want entertainment. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like that's the main thing. Like they don't give a fuck about. They just want a good story. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's like like that's what I want to do, man. Like I want to just like have a bunch of entertaining stories that people will come back. Um,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I want
Because
to have
it's
a body
fun.
of work.
Yeah, you can find a way to make that digital style look sweet, and it's just different. So you'll find that's some of like the art direction almost, and it can be like the tools and the process you choose, and even within digital, it's like yeah, like if you whatever. That's one thing I like about traditional is like any tool will kind of have limitations naturally with it, and that will kind of create the style. But you can like simulate that with digital too, and get some different looks that you might be going for, and get something looking real nice. So
I think it's cool too because like artists, I see them jump around. Like you'll see a digital guy, he'll jump over to pencils or or traditional back and forth. Or like sometimes you'll say I ain't ever gonna fucking do that. One thing I probably won't ever do is AI, but that's just me. At the
yeah,
end, but again, we're going back to this, right? People do not give a fuck if it's AI. They will buy the book if it's good. I've seen it. I've seen the book sell. I've seen all AI art books done sold on like TikTok. Like
yeah,
they don't care. They just want to have a good story. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
entertainment. And I understand. And I think that it's cool to bring people into comics, dude. Whether it be BD or manga or American. You know what I mean? However you want to fucking slice it. Just let's create. But yeah, man, I got a question for you. What's your favorite metal band?
Dude, I don't know if you named the top five, and then I would know. I'm trying to think who I even. There's a few that I like that I don't even know if they count as metal.
Well, for me, metal is like a vast genre, like a vast blanket gray area. You know what I mean? Like a lot of bands people don't consider metal. I would. It's just I think there's just thousands of subgenres. It's like
Yeah, like
it's like a metal whether you like it.
do you count Tool as metal?
Yeah, they're metal. They're for me
Okay,
they're prog metal for sure.
yeah, that's one that I
Alternative.
listened to a lot of back in the day, and
Mhm.
I like them.
Yeah, Tool's awesome. Yeah, and they didn't they never showed themselves for that was like kind of like they're one of their sticks. Obviously, they're like geniuses with the music and whatnot, but they would always have animation in their videos and things like that. Oh, that's you like the animation videos? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. See,
yeah, and you know what else I was thinking is on YouTube they have uh they'll take various famous songs and famous albums, and then they redo them, but it'll be with video game instruments. They call it the sound
Oh,
font. So they'll
that's
be
awesome.
like Mario 64 sound font, but it's Tool Lateralis with and it's like so funny because it's all the like the weird timing and craziness of Tool.
Bam, bam,
Yeah, yeah, but it's
bam,
just like
bam,
it's
bam.
just yeah, yeah. You can totally imagine, and
Yeah.
I'll literally listen to that while I'm drawing sometimes because I'm like, oh, this is
Oh,
cool. You know what's funny about that too is I'm pretty sure all that kind of stuff is actually fair use, like so you can put it in videos and you won't get taken down or whatever.
oh, that's
Um,
good.
so it's a really funny like loophole sort of where it's yeah, this is totally Tool's music, but they make it all Mario 64 sounding.
Yeah, Tool's awesome. I like seeing the interview too with Maynard, the singer, because he was on Rogan, and he's always like, "Dude, I'm always just waiting for those fools." Like, because that's how it is too. Because like if you're like I've done vocals for bands before, but usually like I'm kind of waiting, like I'm waiting for the melodies so I could write the lyrics and things like that, And
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just waiting for these fools, man. Like let's do. So he's like, "Fuck." So he'll go and do another album or another band, like what is it, Pussifer? Then he goes and does a Perfect Circle, and it's just crazy, man. That those guys, they have to write the right music. I seen them too on what movie was it? It was Crank 1 or Crank 2. They're like just some actors in there. They walk up to Jason Statham and they're like walking their dog and get like a bomb or something and shit. It was funny.
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was random because like you dude, like no, like I remember as a kid, like no one ever seen them before. No one ever knew what they looked like. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was just kind of crazy seeing them on there. I actually, dude, have your campaign pulled up right now, Earthbound Grand Prix 2. If you'd like, I could share it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's take a quick look.
All right.
Yeah, I could rant about it for a little bit. It's like, it's like the sequel to um Earthbound, but I've been saying it's a little bit like the way Indiana Jones works a little more than Star Wars, where Star Wars is like they kind of go in order and they build on each other,
Yeah.
and Indiana Jones is like individual adventures. You can kind of watch them in any order. Now this one, it is because it is chronologically after the first one. Um, so in that sense, it is like the sequel, and you put them together, that makes a larger story. But it's like the first story could literally function as a prequel. So this you could read this first if you wanted to. So that's always an option if people wanted to jump in. And I've gotten some feedback from people that have done it that way, and it does work, and they've been enjoying it. So I'm like, that's kind of interesting because I was kind of curious. But if I
Of the
had
shop.
to, yeah, if I had to like whatever recommend, I'd say go ahead and just read Earthbound 1 and 2 first and then jump into Grand Prix. But Earthbound, it's all about the recruiting behind the scenes process to recruit these fighters, kind of like a bounty hunter kind of thing, kind of like a space enslavement kind of thing. And it's for a giant fighting tournament that
Right.
called the Grand Prix, and that's all that this is about. And when I started to write this, I was like, okay, it's going to be the giant fighting tournament now. I need to answer a few questions for myself because I deliberately didn't do too much world building in the first one, other than it's the Grand Prix. That's like literally all there was. So then I'm like, okay, well, is the Grand Prix like a huge thing that everyone's watching, or is it a super private thing that nobody's watching and only the super elite get to even go, kind of thing?
Yeah.
And that'd be more like blood sport, is like that way rather than whatever, like just a big old famous thing. So I went more that direction of the clandestine secret fighting tournament kind of thing. And it's kind of just been snowballing from there. Of just the other thing is it starts 4 years later, so it's the same characters, but we find them all in different spots, and then they kind of reconvene. So that's kind of a storytelling trope that will happen. Is the kind of time they just call it the time skip, but yeah.
I like that, man. And you actually got a trailer up here too. If you, it's cool if we watch it.
Sure, yeah. I can tell you a little bit. It's funny. It's like it's just me clipping your boy Zach calling me a genius is like
Oh,
all it
okay.
is.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Let's see here.
You want an apprentice and you chose Mags? Why don't you choose Narwhal? Narwhal is an actual genius. Like creative genius. He's not going to solve cold fusion.
Watch me shoot this brick.
Why didn't you
Boing.
take Narwhal under your wing? You did it because you were trying to be political. You were trying to be cute. You thought you were smarter than the situation. You're smarter than these idiots. But I mean, come on. The idea that your first book you're ever going to put out is going to be award worthy is kind of ridiculous. Usually people win awards for actual merit, not identity, after 5, 10, 20 decades of work. But of the work that's been produced, I would really only say it was like Narwhal stuff. Like Narwhal definitely seems like the type of person who should be nominated in a short story or anthology category. I mean, a lot of his stuff is just flat out brilliant, like savant level work. So Narwhal is someone that I think actually does deserve award nominations. But as far as I know, Narwhal has only worked in crowdfunding, which is apart from mainstream, both for awards, for press coverage, for basically everything. Now, should crowdfunding come up with its own awards? No. Just put out books, deliver the books, make good books, improve in your artistry, in your skill, in your delivery, and in your customer service. Don't worry about mainstream awards.
If my opinion matters, we need to make sure Narwhal's taken good care of. He's got a lot of good books. He's going to continue to make good books. And in my opinion, he's a fucking genius.
You know what I've been saying is if there's like a parallel dimension out there somewhere where the kind of weird SJW cancel culture stuff didn't happen, and where I was like a student of Sean Gordon Murphy for a little bit or something. But
Oh yeah,
we're
he
in
had some
this
cool
universe.
books.
He's like one of my like favorite artists for sure. I still follow him and keep tabs on what he's up to.
I like the whole like Batman, was it White Knight? I think the first one was that he did. I don't remember, something Knight, but
Yep.
that one was cool. Oh, we got a fellow co-host. Everybody say hi to Brian Kreisgau.
Hey Brian, what's up?
What's up? What's up, Narwhal? Good to see you, my brother.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Just read this.
Oh, nice.
Last week, and really, really enjoyed the hell out of it. Yes, this is Cerberus.
Yes,
It's kind of like a Don Bluth sort of a thing. It's like Don Bluth, but kind of like meets the Plague Dogs a little. I wouldn't say it gets that dark, but it does get a little dark.
Yeah.
The art, of course, by oh God, why am I blanking on her name? Monica.
Yep.
McCagney.
Yeah, Monica McCagney. She works with Vaughn too. Yeah.
Yes.
She's great.
Very animated style as well.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a Don Bluth thing. Kind of like a little bit of like not like the Play Dogs, more like the Secret of Nim, I would say. Of its general vibe, but thumbs up, well done, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, we're working on part 2. I'm excited to get that out ASAP. It'll be later this year, I think. But yeah,
awesome,
I can't wait.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely there for it.
Nice.
I love this shot right here, man. Cool. Like.
Oh, thanks.
I love the feeling. It's very warm, you know.
Yeah, it's like that's the Grand Prix. So the Grand Prix has to be it gets built up kind of a lot. It's like through a portal that's only one way. So nobody can ever come back, but you can, but you have to die, and you use this weird reincarnation technology, and that's super rare. So most people who go through get stuck. Nobody knows what goes on in there. There's no way to communicate once you go through. So once they go through, it's like, well, what's it going to be like? And I was like, well, it has to be something. So I don't even know. It's like I built it up almost too much, you know. But I'm like, it's like a nice warm pyramid kind of thing.
So it's like death. Really?
Yeah.
Right? It's like the undiscovered country from which no one returns.
Yeah. It is a little bit like that, yeah.
I love this brawl you got going on right here. You got this like tiger wolf type looking character.
Yeah.
Pretty
well,
badass.
that was one thing. I've kind of picked this up over the years, but these days, if it's like a kind of not a main character, I like almost support and encourage like what do you call it? Stereotypical type character designs, because it kind of like helps them stand out and be recognizable from panel to panel, just for the audience to kind of log it without too much necessary character development or whatever if they're not a main character. So yeah, it's like, and one of the ways I think about this story too is it's like a fighting game, but I'm just trying to make the best story mode ever for a fighting game. So all these characters, I'm like, I want them to be like they could be characters in a fighting game. And then that gets kind of a little bit back to some of it can be a little generic. It's like you have your animal fighting guy, you have your you have your like knight
Templar guy, right?
Yeah, the Templar guy.
Badass.
I have a sumo wrestler in there. I have a pirate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're fun to draw, man. Like, did you ever think about maybe making like a fighting game like this in your art style?
I would love to. It's some of that's like I guess just down the line if I am ever able to. But it's funny. Like I have a couple things I am trying to mess around and dabble a little bit in animation. Like even now, nothing, no crazy big projects, but really just trying to actually kind of learn it, do some of it, break in a little bit. Same even with like filmmaking, trying to make some films here and there, just short films. But video games is like another harder one that's a little crazier that one day I could try and do something, but I don't really know.
That would be cool too. Like if you did like a kind of like a 2D one first, and then a 3D one. Like maybe for like, I don't know, something. There was a new Hellboy game out that is completely like Mignola style, like in 3D. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter. They have
I have seen it. Yeah, it looks awesome.
Looks so
I actually
cool.
kind of want to play it or see someone play it. But
yeah, I have the other Hellboy game, Science of Evil. That one's fun. I'm a big Hellboy fan. Mignola that's kind of like when I started getting back into comics was Hellboy. It was just I kind of found out about it watching Blade 2 and learned a bit through Guillermo del Toro. But yeah, man, I think that would be really cool. Like to have like a game, in your style, but 3D, and then even like a side-scrolling like Street Fighter 2, bro. Like fucking, Marvel vs. Capcom, like Grand Prix. That would be sick, dude.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, man. And then so you have 6 of these planned out, right?
Yeah, it's kind of the same length as the first story. The first story is 2 trades, and it combines to be like a 250-page graphic novel. And it was released just in that format, wasn't broken down into single issues. Then this one, just to kind of keep the money flowing a little bit more freely, I broke it into single issues instead of trades. But they're double issues. So like each issue is a staple bound 48-page book. There's going to be 6 of them. So it will be like a little bit, even a little bit longer. The script's a little bit longer than the first one. So it'll be about a 300-page adventure, this one. And yeah, so this one brings us up to 100 pages. So it's a third in by the end of this one. So it's getting rolling. We're like in the Grand Prix. The questions are starting to get answered. Some good stuff starting to happen.
So these are floppies, right? Like the 6 are going to be floppies, essentially, is what you're saying?
Yeah. And I said, and I call them floppies, but when I print them, they're kind of sturdy. They have like thicker cardstock covers.
Oh yeah. Very boutique.
So yeah, and they're like 48 pages. So they're kind of thick. So
no, that's cool, man. Like you have something else like to offer in your catalog. You know what I mean? Like when you're doing your show, you got some floppies that are kind of like that right now, like something a little different, and then you have your other fat stack of like a body of work. I think floppies are cool, man. Like I got a bunch of Butch CLEAVER ones right now too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I like about them? I like the format, how it does affect the storytelling a little bit.
It does.
And you kind of need to like hit beats more. Like you need to deliver goods in a 20-page bite-sized thing.
Storytelling.
Yeah, and you need to end like on a kind of nice little cliffhanger / reveal type thing. Whereas with the Earthbound trades, I didn't do that, but then it naturally has that here and there. But it was like page 36 was the first where you can kind of feel it. You're like, that feels like the first issue. Page 36.
Just
and like, yeah. And so that's usually the way I do it. It just happens naturally. But I do like kind of forcing yourself to like make these books work as an individual piece too.
Got another co-host. Say what up to Preston Azarito.
Doc Salem, what's up, man? Preston, what's up?
What's up? How you doing?
Good to see you.
Yeah, man, this book looks fucking awesome. He did a Nosferatu book I was talking about earlier. It's really cool, man. His just take on the rat on Drac. You know,
Nice.
I like
I'm
the
gonna
way
have to
you,
check that out.
I like the way
Pre-
that you redesigned him too, man. Like you really went hard on the rat. You know.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was fun. That was kind of one of the things why I wanted to even do it in the first place, as I had a idea for how to draw Nosferatu that I was kind of pumped on.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
Preston, are you working with Lit Dev? Who are you working with right now these days?
I took on. I want to work with Lit because Lit's such a good writer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that first Doc Alpha he put out. Like the art was, I didn't like the art. I thought the art was terrible, but the story was so good. And usually, like if it has bad artwork, I can't get on board with the book. But the writing was so good that it just sucked me in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like, and I guess that's one of the good things doing what we do is that we get a chance to work with people that are really, really good writers, you know, and we can choose those. So yeah, so I signed up to do Doc Alpha, and like it took me a minute to like warm up to the character, but by the end of the book, I was like, God, this is the greatest thing ever, and it was so violent. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
Yeah.
like one of the most violent books I've ever read.
Yeah, I want to get that too.
And what's crazy, he would write a scene where it was like really violent, and I'd be like, you know, it'd be cool as if we like took that knife and just stuck it here and did it. He was like, do it. Yeah. I was like, all right. So I signed up to do the second. I got to do the second part just to finish off that whole storyline, you know. But
Cool.
yeah, and yeah, I like doing
when
that.
you
kind of
give him
stuff.
violence to draw.
I like Norwal has a way of setting a mood in his
Very
art.
much so.
Like
Very
it's
much
the
so.
colors and it's the lighting, I think, that pulls you into it, you know. Like this scene right here, that's freaking
Yeah.
amazing.
The composition too.
Yeah, the composition's great.
And the perspectives. Are you going really hard on the fight choreography on this book, or is that something you think about, like martial arts films or anything?
Yeah, I try to think of the logistics of the action and have like gags, kind of, you know, like gags, not
Yeah.
even like jokes, but like like
Yeah,
little,
the moves, the delivery.
yeah, like clever things that happen. Yeah, like Jackie Chan style or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part, right?
Yeah, and there's like a balance, I guess, because if you put too much of that in, it gets like storyboards and it can kind of be weird. But
Yeah.
too little is like, you know, the same thing.
Plus, you want to be careful. Like at some point, it becomes an inside joke, and you know, like other people don't get it, and it's just so funny to you.
Yeah, you'll be adding little things, and comics won't always communicate the way like a movie would, or some of the stuff.
So
Yeah,
the
you
book's
have to be like
$16.
you got to be like ruthless with killing your darlings.
It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
balance.
So the book's $16, man. And like you said,
Nice.
it's how many pages, Narwhal?
It's 48 pages.
Damn,
That's actually not bad.
Nice thick
no,
book.
that's fucking all killer, no filler, man.
It's
You
giant
got,
stuff,
I like this.
Nice.
I like both the covers. Like the first one
right?
just reminds
Remember
me of
the,
like
the
action
giant size
packed.
comics back in like
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Norwal was given free shipping. Like it's free shipping internationally. So it's $16.
Yeah. Shit.
oh shit.
Nah, I'm fucking
Oh,
with you.
God.
This versus
Oh,
cover is
man.
awesome too, man. Reminds me of like the video game thing you were talking about.
Yeah. And another thing that's kind of fun about that one is that's WizKid and Julia, who those are the two who had the romantic connection in the first book, and now they're
fun.
like fighting. So it's like, why are they fighting?
See,
Dude.
I gotta get I want all of Narwhal's library, man. I gotta get in there and get the rest of it.
He's
So
one of
pumped
our
up
great
this shit.
talents for sure. But bro, you got props from fucking Mark Millar.
Yeah, dude, you got.
Oh,
props,
yeah.
man.
That's fucking amazing, bro.
What did
Yeah.
Mark say? Like,
Thanks. Yeah, well, you know how that kind of happened was your boy Zach gave a good review to Foreign Agent. So this is kind of a while ago. I don't know if it's like 2019 or something, and then maybe 2020. Yeah, they overuse the G word, but it's very nice. But yeah, so he really liked Foreign Agent, and then the next day Mark Miller followed me, and I was like, I wonder if he followed me because of your boy Zach's review. And so then I was like,
That's amazing.
I wasn't sure if I should say anything, but I was like, I can DM him now. He follows me. So I did DM him, like, I don't know if
Mhm.
I waited a day or whatever, but I was like,
Hell yeah.
hey, did you follow me because of the You Boys Act Review of Foreign Agent? And he's like, absolutely. I've been a fan of his channel for a while. Been watching you too, kid. Keep up the great work. You're doing great. Something like that. I was like,
Oh
sweet.
my
man.
Awesome.
god.
Yeah, I know.
Pat on the back.
He's cool. You know, one thing about him too is like, I definitely got vibes like he did not, like, I don't know, like, because of the SJW cancel culture, there was like a lot of pros that got kind of grandfathered in, these like older white guys who were kind of, they're all like really talented.
Yeah.
Some of them were like cowards. Some of them joined in and like started attacking Comicsgate for no reason.
Yeah.
And Mark Miller was kind of the only one who, behind the scenes, he was just being friendly to everyone still.
Right.
And then he did speak up publicly, and that was one of the really nice turning points. Was when he
Yeah.
coined cancel pigs.
Yeah.
I
You
think-
can do it.
I think a lot of those guys couldn't speak up publicly, like Mark, you know, at the time, because Mark, I don't think he was actually, he wasn't as far ahead of the game as he is now. You know what I'm saying? Like now, he can
Yeah.
speak up and you can't cancel him.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's
true.
impossible.
I think it's something. I think it has to do also with his past. He was orphaned at a pretty young age. He is a religious guy. He's a certified Eucharist. An ordained Eucharist minister. On the weekends, he takes his kids to go do volunteer work. And what else? Oh yeah, that's right. He had Crohn's disease, nearly killed him.
Oh,
And
dude,
so
you know
he's a
more than
guy
me. That's
like,
all.
become, like that.
Yeah,
close.
I never knew any of this. That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
Yeah, that's all fascinating, and that does explain.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing I've noticed too is like it is like he's a little based, and I don't mean like he's right wing or whatever, but
No.
like anyone who's
True
like
based, I call
yeah,
it.
like anyone who's based, they
based.
kind of pride themselves on trying to avoid the various things that you might call like a mass hallucination or whatever, like whatever it
Yes.
may be. There's plenty of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're kind of
Panic.
trying to see through that.
They
And
want
to
to
be a
think for
good writer,
themselves
you
and
do
not
have to-
follow the sheep. Yeah.
Yeah. To be a good writer, you have to be able to do that. And Mark Miller is great at that. And that's part of what, I think he made a conscious decision to like kind of be nice to me way early, right in the thick of all the crazy cancel culture. And it wasn't just me. He was, he would email with, whoever, being pen pals nice to a lot of people. So.
My buddy got me into him.
This
He told
guy
me,
is
he told me,
absolutely the best storyteller in comics right now, Mark Millar.
oh yeah.
I know, like I feel like he's like laying it on too thick.
Well, he's the
Awesome,
best
dude.
storyteller until a lot of people start recognizing people like Lit, Chris
Yeah.
Gal.
yeah. See, that's
No, not me.
What I like about him, my buddy Miguel was saying, he got me into him. He said
Von Klaus.
that he writes books for people that don't know about comics or like comics. Like people could get right in there and read his shit, and they could turn him into like a comic reader. And he gave me the Ultimates, and I
I
read
never
that.
read
Oh,
them.
And
I never
yeah.
read a Millar comic I didn't like. You know what I'm
Oh, I
saying?
know.
Like
Yeah.
every one of them's like
But I got
really
it.
good. And
Actually, his X-Men run I wasn't too crazy about. Didn't really like his Ultimate X-Men.
I'm not. I'm talking about his
Everything else
IPs.
by that guy's been
I
incredible.
like Superior a
Yeah.
lot.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about his
yeah.
IPs, not the ones that he did for
What's up,
for the big companies.
Yeah, I've kind of been going back through and reading all his stuff and really enjoying it. Very inspirational because,
Kick-ass.
the Miller World stuff is all
Kick-ass.
super awesome.
I love that
Nemesis.
kick-ass.
We read Nemesis because there's two.
Oh yeah,
Mark
Nemesis
Millars.
is the shit, dude. I
Yeah.
got that
Nemesis
one.
is badass.
There's two
Dude.
Hardback.
Mark Millars, right? There's the one that's the guy that, like, I said there's like a Eucharist minister and everything, and tells like these
Then there's
really
Nemesis.
ultimately pretty heartwarming stories. And then there's the other Mark Millar that does shit like Nemesis and Kick-Ass. That's just like a
Superior, man, like-
Yeah,
maniac.
dude, that's a good. That's an
Wanted.
excellent. Yeah, Brian, that's an excellent point. I agree 100%. I've been thinking that as I've been reading him. I'm like, oh, he's got like if it's two or maybe you can even say three
Yeah.
like styles or something where
Yeah,
he like
yeah.
he changes his like it feels like he changes his personality almost to be able
Yes.
to write it.
You almost
Yes.
have to, though, right? Am I right about that, Brian? Like you have to almost have like a little split personality whenever you write.
Mhm. Multiple personality.
Yeah.
Well, that depends. I think it depends on if you're.
Wait, who am I
like,
talking
speak
to
out
now?
Like an aspect of yourself.
Yeah,
Brian, I'm talking.
Is that Brian?
You got
yeah.
to catch it.
Brian's his
Kumba.
eyes like flicker and then he like changes his accent. Yeah.
I think that look, people have different aspects to their personalities, right? And I think in the case of him, it's the Jungian shadow self, right? That's the dark side that we all have to our personalities. And Jung believed that we should embrace our dark sides. That is to say, the shadow self, right? The part of us that's embarrassed to be seen by God, as Jung put it. And you can tell I'm a big Jung guy. And I think that's a case of that. It's just like you've got like proper martial art, and then you've got like this fucking maniac, and that's the shadow self, the naughty side of your personality.
And that is something that good writers can do. They can access that for sure.
Definitely.
Yes, for sure.
Good artists can do that too.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
We always.
Well, you got a catch up tier right here. For
Yeah. So you can get the first 2 trades, which is Earthbound 1 and 2, and then also Grand Prix 1 and 2.
Oh, sick. Okay. Come and check this out. Do you have any of the original artwork that you've been kind of posting up on Twitter, like for sale on?
There might be 1 left. I've done 6, and 5 of them have sold. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, I think there's 1 that might be left.
You got Cave Slave by Vaughn right there, Vaughn Close.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hotel Story, got to check that one out. Okay. Ooh, I think they're all gone, bro. Wait. There might be 1.
Yeah. No, there's 1 right at the bottom, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
ooh, I like that, dude. That's fucking badass.
Yeah.
With the horse.
Well, that's got Prince Valiant look to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are all Percival. I've been working on like a Percival kind of story, but I haven't really started production, just kind of testing. But I have a script, but I need to redraft it. But
Come and get it. $140, man. That's a killer deal. That could go right above the fireplace.
mhm.
It really is.
Original art,
If Mark
guys.
Millar was a real man, he'd pay you like 10,000.
Ooh, them's fighting words. Brian's gonna get canceled.
You guys, we're at 690 or 6,900, 148 baggers. Let's bring it up to 150. Let's get to 7. Come and get some narwhal, man. You guys are gonna be fucking entertained. I promise.
Yep, $69 from 7,000 right now. So
Oh, for sure,
be
man.
the 69. Just back 69. Pick whatever you want.
100%.
Let's do
Narwhal,
it.
I gotta ask you, man. You got a favorite movie, man?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I love movies and I watch a ton. And I listen to Brian's suggestions and I'll try and watch those too. And I've seen some weird. Brian's seen more, I think more than me, more crazy weird ones. But I'm trying to think what even is my favorite movie. It's
That's
kind
for
of hard.
damn sure.
It's hard, huh?
Yeah, like I
You
have
can't do
the
1, then you do 3. What are 3 of your favorites?
yeah, like I have the basic. Okay, the basic answer, which is not exactly true anymore because it was true for so long. You know how that
Yeah.
works, like with music,
Yep.
even or something like.
It's played
But
out.
it was the original Dawn of the Dead, and I still do love that.
Yeah. It's pretty solid.
Excellent
Yeah.
choice, sir.
That original
Excellent
one's, you
choice.
can't go wrong with that. The
Yeah,
remake's okay, but yeah, I like the
Never
OG
gets
one.
played. Never
I
gets
like
played.
the original. I like the remake of Night of the Living Dead, the Savini one with Tony Todd. That one's fucking dope.
yeah, yeah.
It's worth mentioning that Dawn of the Dead is getting a theatrical re-release in April, and that you can go. I think it's dawn45.com, and you can see if it's playing in your area. And my friend Chris and I were trying to find because some of the showings are going to be the 3D version, the retrofitted 3D version
Nice.
of Dawn of the Dead, which I didn't ask for, didn't want, but I'd watch the fuck out
I
of it.
don't know if this is true, but I heard they were doing a Dawn of the Dead musical.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe a metal version. That'd be pretty dope.
I know, right?
Yeah.
If you guys haven't checked out Narwhal's live streams, you got to check him out. He does like deep dives on like filmmaking, the writing process, the artistic process. Whenever I can, I try to jump in there. Usually kind of goes live though. A lot of time when I'm either homeschooling or I'm at work because I've been working.
Yeah,
all the
kind of
time now.
random times.
And then
Dude,
also
you're killing
doing
it on that level too.
yeah, and the creative block. You've been doing that show on Thursdays around like right now. You're doing that, right?
Yeah, that I got to get back to that in like 10 minutes, but just
That show is awesome too. Like it's good for people that are making movies, making comic books, video games. They talk about all types of stuff, and you can actually take some notes. The chat really has good ideas, and so does the host too. I know I always try to jump on there if I can. It's an awesome show.
Nice. Yeah, that one's been fun. It's been good to get that going. It's been going almost a year now too, so
It's fast,
got a
huh?
bit of- yeah, we
'Cause
got a little
I
bit of
remember-
the format figured out.
Got to have your format right. Everybody's kind of got it. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, I started doing like basically comic book reviews. That's how I started like my channel with, and I stopped doing it. And now I started doing it now, and I got more people kind of, I guess, engaging with me, like and subscribing. I guess I've been just kind of picking up. I don't know because there's not that many books in the mainstream that I like, but Conan, man, I like Conan, and the books have been pretty cool. And I'm picking up the Goon. I like the Goon a lot. I've always picked up the Goon. So.
I love
Nice.
the Goon. The Goon's
Yeah.
badass.
Well, that's another thing. He does pencil, like, and you do pencils, Brian, and or
Ow,
Preston. So does Del Keown,
Yeah.
and the fucking pencil, and then he does colored pencil
Hellbilly,
for the
Hellbilly
border
is
or the
even
outer.
better than the Goon. I'd go so far as to say.
Well, I'm sorry, which one, Hellboy, or I don't know.
No,
Oh, Hillbilly.
Hillbilly
Yeah,
is
that's
the
cool.
best thing that dude produced so far. Oh, and
It's amazing.
what was Big Man Plan?
Oh, Big Man Plans.
Dude,
Yeah,
that was
I never picked it up.
brutal.
Yeah,
Dope.
that looks good. Narwhal, you got a favorite like a favorite beer you like, bro, or like like a drink or something like that?
I used to drink IPAs. I don't drink booze anymore. So the last couple of years,
Yeah.
these days all I do once in a while I'll pop Kratom. You guys know Kratom? It's like the homeless.
I'll take
crack.
it. Yeah, I do it.
What'd you say? Cram?
Kratom.
Yeah.
You gotta be
You can buy
careful.
it
That
at
shit's
gas
addictive.
stations. Yeah,
It's addictive as fuck, dude.
yeah,
What
yeah.
is it
Yeah.
exactly again?
It's like
I'll take
it's
it.
like it's legal, but it's like who knows?
It feels
how
like
much
you took a
longer.
pain pill, is what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
a
love
drink though,
Kratom.
right? It's a drink.
No.
Well,
no,
you
it's
just
not
drink
fair.
it with coffee or whatever. You just
Well, you can put it in coffee, but I'll buy the powder. But there's also capsules and there's a concentrated. Stay
it-
away from the concentrated.
Oh shit!
yeah.
You know what
Is
I picked up
is-
the other night? Oh, sorry, Brian. What were you saying?
Is it a plant or is it?
Yeah,
like,
it's a plant. It's just
Yeah.
ground up leaves, is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I'll
it's
try
not
it.
even like that bad for you, except that it's addictive. So it's
It
just
is.
like
But here's another thing too. Don't take too much your first time, or you'll puke everywhere if you don't OD. And
Oh,
I'm not
fuck.
lying.
I heard
Yeah.
ayahuasca's like that too.
yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I had
Yeah, no, the American Psychiatric Society is really looking into psychedelics to treat depression and anxiety.
Well, they've been using ketamine, haven't they?
Oh yeah, there was a guy
Oh, yeah.
that was in my group actually that like was all. It was painful to look at, right? And he was totally resistant to any kind of drug treatment. And one day he walks in, the guy's fucking smiling and shit. Yeah, ketamine.
Oh,
Yeah.
works wonders.
It's all about working out your demons, dude. You know, and then you just
It
need some
is.
way to access it. You know?
Exactly. And that's why, for me, it's like I spent 20 years just throwing fucking booze and drugs on the problem, which just created more and more layers.
I don't
Shit.
drink anymore. I don't.
No, me
I don't
neither.
have the taste for it. You know, or
Me neither.
Mhm.
I have like a
Yeah.
beer, like a drink, maybe.
I had a shot of some Sailor Jerry's on your show. I usually drink on your show. I'll have like a drink, and then
I can't. I can't do that. I can't drink beer because it
Now
just
I'm
gives
having
me a headache.
coffee.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, my thing is if I drink one, then I would want to drink 12. Like so
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like,
yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah, once
man.
I got on the right meds, my appetite for alcohol just. I was like, oh,
Snap.
I think
Yeah.
I don't like
self-medicating.
like after having panic attacks and going through that whole mess where they started putting me on that, like
Yeah.
all these antidepressants, and I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
being out of control. You know what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying? I like
Yeah.
definitely
I don't
having
either.
complete control over myself.
Yeah,
yeah.
it
Yeah,
sucks,
yeah.
dude.
That's where the meditation also
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
exactly.
helps.
that
Narwhal, do you
Panera bread.
meditate?
I go through phases, but the thing I do, and I'll like take it pretty seriously and do it for like months, but then I kind of fall out. But the last one was like a few months ago even. But the thing I do is I nap every day, and I like I consciously relax while I'm napping. Like I know I'm like this is my time to like
Oh,
really
yeah.
relax. So it's almost like
Turns
meditation.
out-
But yeah.
Turns out naps are actually very good for you.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
They
good.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Siestas.
So don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty.
Nice.
Total non sequitur. But like, do you do any of your writing during that napping? Because I remember Mario Puzo, the guy who wrote The Godfather, his wife would always call him a bum because like he would always be like napping on the couch like all day. And he would like, he'd be like, no, like she doesn't understand. Like that's when I'm doing my writing.
Yeah.
And then when I get up and just type it, I'm just transcribing. Like, is it similar for you in that respect, or not? Like
at least a little bit. Maybe not that crazy, but definitely you'll have inspiration while you're just sitting there letting your mind turn a little bit.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, note to self, I gotta like kind of remember that one. And
I used to do
it's
that.
relaxation, basically. You have to relax your mind and get rid of any anxiety that what you're going to do, that what you're going to produce is going to suck.
Yeah.
And then it flows.
Yeah.
That's what I find. Oh, by the way, Matt, sending these your
What you got over here?
This is a book I picked up at a convention that was nearby me.
Road to Valhalla.
So specifically in indie
Ooh,
comics
nice.
convention. Yeah, because I think you'll get off on this, and I haven't sent packages out to people in a while. Basically, this is Vikings plus Native Americans versus the Wendigo.
Oh my God, that's what I like. I know Marvel knows a little bit about.
I enjoyed it, but I was like, oh, Matt's really gonna get a boner over these.
I'm going to be reviewing this book on my channel. I was going to say if you want to sit in.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to get that by Martin Simpson.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fucking
actually on my
insane.
list. Yeah,
I got a couple of books from this guy though. Like, because he had a bunch of them that were out of print, and I was like, "Dude, you got that?" He was like, "Yeah, I got it." I was like, "Okay, I'll buy that too."
This shit?
It's on eBay. It's still on eBay.
Have you seen this shit? It looks.
This is the
No, it's on my
first
list.
time I've ever really been impressed with digital artwork.
It's
Like,
amazing.
Crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
it's fucking dope,
Nice.
dude. I remember I
Nice.
picked up on Twitter like a year ago, and this Viking Nord
that's what-
book. He has his own style too. Definitely,
Yeah, dude. It's
everything looks
it was.
like
I thought it was pastels, like chalk pastels, but no, dude. It's all like
That's
digital.
amazing.
like everything looks like a character. Even the background looks like a character. I don't know if that makes sense. Like
His
there's so
design
many-
of Loki is pretty awesome too.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that, dude.
Yeah, that looks incredible. I mean, just the sheer amount of talent in the indie scene is fucking sick. It's ridiculous, man.
It's a big
It's
book too. It's like wide too. I like that hardcover format.
It's not thick. It's only a few pages. It's not very
Super
big.
French looking.
but
Yeah,
the format's pretty wide, right?
It's yeah, it's like
Different, right?
a children's
The
book,
comic itself was really
Yeah,
short.
yeah.
like size or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, album,
badass,
album
though.
size. Is that what you would? Is that what you would call that? Album size?
It's a little bit bigger than 8.5 by 11, like width wise. You know what I'm saying? It's probably like 10 by 11 or something
Some
like
kind of
that.
French format to me.
Yeah, but it's
French
good,
are
dude.
the best at fucking. They make beautiful books. Their books just look beautiful.
I got this other book from him called The Needle Man, and dude, it's fucking insane, dude. It's like this futuristic metropolis, and it's like everybody's just a drone, like driven like slave labor, you know. And the whole book is in like this drab, like shitty colors. And then the Needle Man are like these agents that have to go out and keep people in line, you know, and they kill people with this needle. You know, and
I like
it's
this
fucking
guy. I like his art, dude. He's one of those guys.
dude, yeah, like he's got such a unique style.
He's like Narwhal, man.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not into digital work. Like I just because I think it all looks the same. But this guy, I didn't even realize it was like I was like, there's no way this could be.
I thought it was painted.
Ultimately,
I thought it was too, but I was like, no, dude, like this can't be. It's so detailed. I was like, it can't be like traditional, like, and it's not. It's digital. You know?
I'm not an artist, but I think it's an example of really ultimately, it's just another tool.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but I mean, the deal is that a lot of people use digital because it's quick, right?
Right.
But when you use it like that, it's not really being used as an artistic tool. It's being used as a production tool. You know what I'm saying? And then
yes.
that being said, everything starts to bleed together and it starts looking the same because you're not creating new brushes. You're just borrowing from what everybody else is doing.
Right,
You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
but this guy, I'm telling you, he's fucking insane, dude.
That's pretty
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta be scooting here, but I'm sorry I have to go. I would love to keep hanging out. It's because I kind of double booked a little bit. I gotta get back to creative.
It's all good,
Sure, man.
brother.
Thanks
But,
for coming on, man.
I
Thanks
want
for
to
letting
see.
us know.
I want to keep hanging out with you guys. So
Yes.
keep me posted. All three of you whenever you're hanging out. It's vice
Oh,
versa.
sweet.
Well,
Yeah.
if you guys are ever need anything
Yeah.
promoted, let me know too. And have you on my channel and everything. And I like talking movies, Brian. I like picking your brain because anyone who knows more about movies than me, I need to listen because I'm always looking for new movies to watch. Like I got actually one buddy who really liked Foreign Agent, and he lives in Czech Republic, and we'll video chat like once a month. And he's like a film buff, and he just told me a few weird ones to watch. He's like, what he said watch Hotspot from 1990. I don't know if you guys have heard this. It stars Don Johnson, and it's directed by the guy who did. It's directed by Dennis Hopper.
Oh shit!
Oh, get out! That's awesome.
Yeah, and then he said watch Daisies from 1966, which is a Czech Republic movie. So I'm getting and they're both so obscure that they're just on YouTube for free. So I'm like, yeah, that's what I need. I need these weird things like Tubi, any of these weird Tubi movies.
I'm always happy to like be of service.
Yeah, you know, I just
The one
finished.
useful thing I'm good for is telling you what like good movies to watch.
I just finished all of Columbo, so I'm actually kind of proud of myself with every single episode.
All right, we'll hook you up.
Sir Narwhal, man, where can people find you, brother?
Yeah, find me if you search Narwhal Books. That's on YouTube and Twitter. Those are the two big ones. And I have an eBay store, and it's Narwhal Comics. So Narwhal Books, Narwhal Comics. Yeah, and eBay, you can catch up on all my stuff. I have the one live campaign right now, which is Grand Prix Part 2. So check it out.
Pin to the top. Up at the top, everybody. Pin to the top. Let's get that baby up to 150. And thanks for coming on, man. It was fun chatting with you again, brother. And,
Yep. Thanks a lot.
We've seen you sooner than later.
Definitely. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Google gobble.
Later, dude.
Take it easy, dude. And then there were three.
The number 3. Well, Narwhal's gone. I'm probably thanks for everybody that's watching. Brian, where could people find you at, brother?
I'm on the Twitter at Brian Christgau. I'm on the YouTubes at Brian Christgau 1415. I'm on the Facebooks at Brian Christgau. Just look my name up. It's pretty unusual in Google, and you can find me and crack-a-lack. Oh, and you can buy the new Six Gun Gorilla on my Shopify store. So,
And,
not the new Six Gun Gorilla though.
You could, but that's what I was looking for. So you can pick up some Six Gun Gorilla right now on Shopify, on the Shopify store, and is that through Inkslayer.com?
No. Although, like Inkslayer, you can get the digital.
Okay, so you
right?
get it
But
there
there's
too.
a thing with like Canada versus the United States and everything. We're gonna figure all that shit out. You can't have your for people to buy it, right? You want to be in B. Dalton's as well as
everywhere. You got to entertain everybody in the world.
Power Books or something like that. Yeah.
Sir Doc.
But yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Anytime, brother. Preston, where can people
the
find
Horror
you?
Movie Club.
Horror.
And and here, like
yeah.
at my house. I'm always here at my house, like working on stuff.
Okay.
So
that's what's up. Sweet. Well,
Dude's
thanks everybody.
Shit when he's supposed to be working on my fucking Six Gun Gorilla.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Prima donna, man. Prima donna.
Well, thanks everybody. the 4 people watching right now for tuning in.
Peace out.
Everybody have an awesome weekend. Happy Easter. Don't get struck out there by lightning if you're in California like me, searching for Easter eggs. Always remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. I'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Bye. Peace. Awaken from a cocoon inside a skeletal